Hello guys, my name is Hamza Barrow, creator of the Talk to Me podcast. Now this podcast is basically where I interview people and learn about their lives. So today I have a man who I wholeheartedly believe that anything he touches turns into gold, especially when it comes to food and businesses. He knows what needs to be done and executes them perfectly. He is well known and well respected in the food industry, and due to his culinary expertise, please welcome Karl Macky.
Thank you for having me, Hans. I appreciate it. It's my first podcast, everybody, so I'm a little happy and nervous at the same time.
Sorry, we're in the same boat. Bro.
Yeah. Thank you for those kind words. Honestly, they mean a lot to me. That's your perception of me.
I truly believe that, bro. After everything I've seen you do, I truly believe that. How do you and I meet?
How about what?
How do we meet?
How do we meet?
Was it when I did the
I think the boardwalk.
No, before that.
The food trucks.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Did I do your
Because I didn't meet you when you did Avenue. I wasn't there. You did it in your car, and a gentleman that you know from that area recommended that place.
Yeah. Yep.
I think his name was Josh or something.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But someone recommended it to you. It was Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan.
Yes.
He said, let me get the Korean beef tacos.
Yes, and you love them.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then we didn't get you, that was when you were doing TikTok, not Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I moved over to Instagram, and then I had to re-upload it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And thank you for that. That was a big deal. So, I mean, as you can see, the Avenue is well built, well thought out, very strategic with everything we do.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was truly the learning lesson for me in my career.
So was that your first business, like first major restaurant business you owned?
No. So, it was next door to the Avenue. So back in 2001, I was a senior in high school, and my dad bought a plaza in Wayne as his retirement program.
The same plaza where
Avenue American Bistro is.
Cool.
And once my dad took it, it was a 4-unit plaza.
Okay.
There was 1 unit that was empty, and within 6 months, my dad lost 2 other tenants.
Oh wow.
So my dad had a bank loan on this building, and he kind of went all in on this. So we had to do something quick. So him and my brother decided one of the businesses was a hair salon that the lady had passed away. So we didn't want to, go after her family or go after the ladies. We squashed it, and we respected her time there, and her we wanted her to rest easy, and we tried to offer her family anything they needed for us to help them, and they didn't want to continue with the hair salon. So my brother and my dad vanilla boxed it.
What does that mean?
Vanilla boxed it, like cleaned it up. It was more of a wig shop, old saloon, it was very, very outdated. So they updated it, they demolished it, vanilla boxed it, and retooled it for me and threw me in there as a manager.
For a hair salon?
For a hair salon.
Have you ever cut hair before?
No. So that was my first experience in my own business, kind of. Okay. And I had to, learn. I had to adjust to that kind of industry, and I did. And my brother hired a lady named Mona from East Dearborn, and she kind of got us going, and, downtime she would have me highlight her hair and do stuff that I never wanted to do or even thought about doing in my lifetime.
She was basically your mentor for like hair.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
So she would make me do stuff I didn't want to do because it was slow as shit,
Yeah.
And we were bored, so she would make me work on her hair, and I had no objections. I'm like, you know what? Let me see what I could do. So, future, as the future came on, we had 1 tanning bed in there, we had facials in there, we had waxing in there, and, it was a one-man show with her there. So, we just went our separate ways. She ended up leaving, and I told my brother, let me take it over and let me hire. I'm there anyway.
Yeah.
So I ended up hiring, 3 lady stylists for men, and I hired a really good stylist from Dearborn for women.
Okay, nice.
And I got it busy, and then my sister started doing waxing there.
Your sister?
Yes.
Oh wow.
She came in to help me, and then I hired a nail tech, and the tanning bed did really well there.
Oh, good.
So I'm like, what do I do to market this more? So I went and got a job at the gas station on the corner. You might know the gas station.
I seen it. Yeah, we're in front of it.
We're Bill Shawarma is on the other side.
Oh yeah, okay.
So that was built new in 2002.
Yeah.
I went and got a job there for like $7 an hour. They thought I needed
$7 an hour.
Yes, they thought I needed the money, and I really didn't do it for the money because yes, I did need the money, but at the same time, I did it more for marketing.
Okay.
There was no Facebook, no Instagram back then,
wow.
So I would take business cards with me, write down $5 off of a men's haircut, give it off to any man that came in there, and the women I would do like $10 off a highlight, $5 off a haircut. And I marketed it that way. So I would feed the business to the hair salon while I was working at the gas station. And, one time my sister called me on a Saturday, and she's like, one of the girls walked out.
One of the hairstylists?
Yes.
Why?
I guess she just had it. She was just an anxiety ball, and she couldn't handle the pressure there.
Okay.
So I called. I was in contact with a barber from Dearborn.
Okay.
I asked him if he could come that Saturday and cut hair.
Yeah.
And he did, and he ended up, rocking it out. People went crazy. They never seen a fade like that from Dearborn in Wayne, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So he would do the string eyebrow too, and he would, he gave him a full service haircut and shave and the straight razor and all that stuff, and that helped, build our name there. So that day was amazing, and he ended up leaving his Dearborn job and coming full time.
Well,
but before that, he had to put in 2 weeks there. So I had to cut hair for 2 weeks. I did not know how to cut hair. I learned, one thing I do is observe, right? So whenever I got a haircut, I observed. Whenever I would watch a barber cut a hair ahead, I would watch what they're doing. So I winged it. And for 2 weeks, I was cutting hair, and I would wash their hair, gel their hair right after, and I was getting, $10 tips back then, and $15 haircuts. So, I struggled one day where I passed a guy to my sister 8 different times. She passed it back to me. We were playing ping pong with him because I didn't know what to do with his hair. He had a longer hairstyle. So, we both passed him back like we were playing ping pong, like I said. And then we finally finished this guy's hair somehow, some way. But the best part about the story is, after the 2 weeks expired and this guy came on full time from Dearborn, people were coming back asking for me.
For you?
Yes, and I was like, no, I'm retired. Jimmy's the guy now, So that was the cool part about it. So as Jimmy made his name there, it took about a year. I decided to open a tanning salon, and I opened a tanning salon at the unit that was empty originally when my dad took it,
nice, okay.
Which was an end cap unit. It was kind of off the beaten path. You really couldn't see it. If you drove by Michigan Avenue, if you didn't look for it, you passed it up.
Really?
And that tanning salon was 7 beds. I was 19 years old. My sister Sada, she helped me put the tanning beds in her name, and I made the payment. Yes. And but I struggled there. My busiest day was 300. My slowest day was 30. So I contemplated about going back to school or doing something else because I was like, man, I'm trapped here. I've kind of maximized my income here, and there's no hope here.
Yeah.
So, long story short, my dad sold the hair salon to a barber and gave it to him for exactly what we invested, and let him pay the principal for the business monthly on top of his rent. So my dad looked out for the guy, put him in a good position. We took out that tanning bed. He had no more access to tanning, and I took over tanning. So
he does hair and you do tanning.
Yes.
Okay.
So there was a corner unit still empty.
Yeah.
And that was the one that emptied out after my dad took it over.
Okay.
And once I saw no hope with the tanning salon that I was in, I begged my parents to let me rent the corner unit. After my sister negotiating for me on behalf of me, she definitely helped me, with all my success stories. So I ended up moving it next door. I built it out in a week, and overnight I moved it with all my friends.
So that corner store, what did you open up there?
A full service tanning salon.
Full service tanning salon.
Yes, so I moved it over. I moved it over literally 10 feet.
Okay, nice.
But that was a corner unit.
Yeah.
So my sales went from $30 a day when it's slow, $300 a day when it's busy, to $300 a day when it's slow, $1,000 when it's busy. So it changed my life.
Location, man.
Location's everything.
Yeah.
And 10 feet made that big of a difference.
Yes.
So I ended up, building that tanning salon into a monster. And from the year of 2003 with the tanning salon to 2018, I owned it and it was successful.
Holy smokes.
Yes. I would have a line like it was, like I was giving away free ice cream. That's how busy I was.
Smoke.
Yeah. And I never believed in a high monetary value for a membership. I always would do my membership at $9.99, bring in the volume and handle it then, because if you have volume, you have sales.
So I know some places, like for example, car washes, they have like $30 car wash and then $20 car washes. You would do like the lower price because people easier access, so people can come in. Kind of like Planet Fitness.
Yes.
Oh, that's smart.
Yes. So I did that back when I was 19, and I knew that you had to bait them in. And how'd you bait them in with a really cheap price and a really good quality bed, and I kept up with my bulbs. I kept up with my lotions. I had contacts there for sale. I had, earrings, purses, you name it, I had it there.
So you had all everything dedicated to tanning. You had it, and you sold it with it.
Yes.
Genius. Man.
Yes. So it did really well. And in 2009, the restaurant bar next door caught on fire.
Oh wow.
And whether it was intentionally or unintentionally, it hurt us. And now we're out of another tenant.
So hold on, is it all within the same building as
Yes.
your father owned? There was a bar there too?
Yes.
Okay.
It was called the Rookie Sports Bar.
Okay.
It was more of like a baseball bar. baseball driven. He was a baseball player back in high school, owner. Long story short, it caused smoke damage to my tanning salon. I had to shut down my tanning salon in 2009. It damaged the whole building. And, for a year, that happened in 2008. Okay. 2009, my partner at the Avenue, Tony, he's an Albanian guy, really, really good man. We've never had any kind of disagreement other than how something should be plated or how something should be made. We never talked about money. Money was never an object with us.
That's a good part.
Yes. And we just thought about succeeding, right? And in 2009, in the beginning of 2009, Tony approached me to open a tanning salon. And we were looking for places in Novi. And I'm like, you know what, Tony, you have Coney Island background. I have business background and communication skills and customer service skills. Let's open this, instead of doing a tanning salon, let's open a restaurant.
I was going to ask you you told me from 2003, 2018.
I had the tanning salon.
That was your main business. You didn't do anything with culinary.
I didn't do anything with culinary. I did culinary before that, when I worked for people.
What do you mean? So you were 18 when you first got the tanning salon. Yeah. Before that, what job did you have?
Before that, I worked at Subway.
Subway.
Yeah,
okay, nice.
I worked at Subway. Subway taught me a lot of things with culinary. Actually, a lot of good things like presentation, cleanliness, customer service, sales, and it kind of showed me how to dummy-proof things because Subway, the corporation, they dummy-proof stuff. So when you get it, when a franchisee gets it, they're able to maintain quality. They're able to delegate their staff. Any one of their staff members are able to prep anything because of the way they give you it and the tools they give you to do it. So Subway taught me all that. And before Subway, I worked at a pizzeria. One of my brother-in-laws owned a pizzeria. They would throw me in the back fryer area. I would be doing frog legs, chicken. I would be grossed out 24/7. Like,
how old are you at this point?
I was 15 when I was cooking in the kitchen.
Okay.
At the pizzeria in Plymouth.
Well, that was your first job?
I would say my first job was buying candy from a candy store and selling it in my garage.
What do you mean, really?
Yeah, when I was about 11 years old.
Mini wholesale?
Yeah, so I would take candy from the neighborhood store.
Yeah.
People weren't allowed to go there, some of the kids, so they'd come to my garage and buy.
Jeez.
And I would mark it up 5 cents or 10 cents and make a living.
That's badass.
And then I was a stock boy at a gas station, my uncle's gas station, and on Pelham Wick and Taylor.
Pelham Wick?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Yes.
Okay, nice.
And I even worked cashier and I couldn't reach the cigarettes, so I would step on a milk crate. And I worked the register. I even worked a midnight shift at the age of 15 there.
Small.
Yeah, so, and I would do my own, so let's go back to the gas station. My cousin never had a 3-pack special. And I would sell 3 packs of cigarettes if they were, say they were $10.05. Yeah. I would tell the customers, hey, what, you want to do a 3 packs for $10 out the door? Makes sense. And I built sales there. I would always nobody pushed me to do that. I just would do that just to kind of enjoy my job more and challenge myself. And if I didn't challenge myself, I didn't enjoy what I was doing. Like at Subway, before they offered double meat and cheese, before the Subway company offered it, I would offer it.
Okay.
So then, a couple years later, they started offering double cheese and double meat. Not from me, but, it just so happened to be, I was ahead of them at that point. And I always love sales. Sales are what drive me. But I feel like sales, if you're not giving the customer their money worth, their bang for their buck, I feel like you're deceiving them. And I feel like that's wrong. And I never want to get in a business where I feel like I'm not confident in my product. Okay. And I'll rather be confident in my product and break even than make money and not give the customer what they deserve.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
I know a lot of people that disagree.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So one thing about me, like again, I'm going to go back. So my timeline started, at the age of 11. I passed out pizza flyers at the age of 13. Chased by dogs in Lincoln Park in Detroit. So we went through it. I always knew to hustle. I always knew that school wasn't for me.
You always had it in you that you had to hustle.
I did.
Because I believe that people are born with that, people aren't.
Yes.
You are born with
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And not hungry for money, hungry for success. And with success money follows. Yeah, if you put money first, you're almost a money grabber. And I don't want to be a money grabber. I never believed in that. I never worshiped the dollar. I never had attachment to money. I could put all the money in front of me in the world. It doesn't change who I am. And it doesn't make me treat people different. And I love that about myself, and I love that God blessed me with that, because that's actually a good trait.
It's a very rare trait.
It is. Yeah. It really is. So, so I kept the tanning salon until 2018. So let's rewind back to 2009. Tony accepted my offer about doing the Avenue.
So, my bad. So for 2008, 2009, that was your tanning salon. Then Tony came to the picture in 2009. You still owned it from 2009 to 2018?
Yes.
Would you have a manager there?
Yes, I had a manager there. Okay. And I was still, overseeing it from the avenue because
Okay.
they were next door to each other.
That's true.
But believe it or not, as close as they are to each other, it was still difficult to control both. Okay, so in 2009, Tony accepted it, my offer to do the avenue instead of another tanning salon, and we started construction. 2009 took us about a year. In 2010, we opened
To build the whole restaurant.
to build a whole restaurant. And then Tony and I sat down and we started to count our receipts, who put more money than who owes who money. And, we ripped up all the receipts. We said, we're not going to start a partnership like that. I don't care if you put X thousand or I put X thousand, we're 50-50. And I feel like starting a relationship like that was the best thing for our relationship.
The way you had to go hard at it, because I know people are like that where you would hey, I pay this much, hey, I pay this much. Like, fuck that, do the middle, we're even.
Exactly.
That's beautiful.
And it didn't matter who was in more.
Nice.
We knew that we had a common goal, we were going to succeed, so it didn't, thousands, whether it was a couple thousand or 1,000, it didn't matter to us. We did open without no bar chairs. Because we didn't have enough money. Okay. And the first week we opened was, the last week of cigarette smoking inside of restaurants and bars. So, what helped us with that first week, because we were slammed. The whole neighborhood was anticipating us.
Yeah.
And we were more of a neighborhood restaurant bar. Yeah. We were kind of like an Applebee's in the beginning.
Okay.
Or a Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
And, Tony was in the kitchen, I was up front. And what helped me, get to know the customer and interact with them was emptying out ashtrays. The first week, that was my in with the customer, and the customers loved what we did. We put some projectors on the wall. We didn't have no interior design. All there was TVs everywhere. Smart. And we showed sports. And the Red Wings, thank God, were doing great at that time, and that helped our place stay busy. Yeah. So you'd come there and you would have a drink and then maybe eat. That's how we opened.
So what were you guys main focus on? Just drinking?
Drinking.
Okay.
And that's what it was before, so that's what we kept it. Nice. But we knew in the back of our head that we didn't want to make it alcohol focused, we wanted to make it food focused. Okay. But it took us a few years to get to that route. Okay. So we hired a couple chefs, they worked out, they didn't work out, we learned something from them. It never ended on bad terms with people. And then in 2013, we hired a chef that worked at Habib's. Okay. And he was a perfect fit for us. We were able to develop with him. And we started doing specials.
Define develop with him.
Develop with him. So developing with him means that we needed development, which is we needed experience, we needed trial and error, and he needed to do that with us. Okay. And he had a Mediterranean background. Okay. And Tony had a Coney Island background, and I had a Subway pizza background. Yeah. So we put our brains together, we started coming up with specials, taste testing, and we started releasing a special menu. Okay. About this page right here, like this size. Okay. And it would be given out with our regular menu, and our special menu became hotter than our regular menu.
So you had two menus, one was special, one was regular?
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. Smart.
And we did a special menu for Monday to Thursday, and then we did a special menu for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a little more exquisite. Okay, nice. And we released our pretzel-coated cod, hand batter, back in 2013. We did a lemon lake perch. We did a walleye. We did a brick chicken there. We did steak bites.
So basically, you guys were experimenting with foods, see what hit, what missed, what hit.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And then we saw that it could have been a little too heavy for people, right? Yeah. So once you feed people heavy food, they kind of get sluggish and leave, so they don't spend no more money. So what do? We started getting a little more modern with our menu, and we started going to shareables, tacos, burgers, sliders, wraps. Yeah. And those did really good on a special menu. So fast forward, 2016, our special menu gave us our menu today. Okay, nice. And through that special menu, we were able to create the shawarma taco, the Korean brisket taco, the cheddar crusted quesadilla, the chicken soho, the American classic sliders.
All your bangers right now.
Yeah, all our bangers came from special menus. I think the only thing that we had on our menu from day one was the chicken bacon ranch wrap.
Because that's OG.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you want to give a lunch, kind of a lunch menu at your place. So you don't want to make it just dinner. I feel like, so what we learned, Tony and I, is that if you create a lunch, you automatically get a dinner.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So
you pack your place at lunch, those people that come in for work, those people that come in just because they're in the area, or they stumbled upon your place, those people come back with their wives, they come back with their friends, they come back with their family. For dinner. Nice. And that's how we started it. So I would go on foot. I would take some of the waitresses, with me, would tag along, and we would hit up all the companies out there and give them our menus.
What do you mean, the companies of who?
Like AT&T, Comcast was out there, Unistra, Ford, and Jack Demmer, and all those kind of places. We would walk on foot and pass our flyers every single morning.
Well, your marketing is genius.
Yeah, and we had to.
Yeah.
So on the other end too, we would have shift meetings with our staff. So you come in, you're a server, bartender, takeaway specialist. You can't come on your shift without attending a meeting with us.
Okay.
So we have shift briefings. So for 15 minutes before your shift, you got to arrive 15 minutes before your shift.
Every shift?
Every shift. You sit down for a meeting, no matter how busy we are. A manager sits down with you. We set some goals. We make sure you're smiling. We make sure your presentation's right. Hair is not on your face. Your shirt's clean. Your apron's clean. And you're projecting your voice in this meeting. Because if you can't hold a good meeting with us, how are you going to service our customers? So in the meeting, we address all those basics, right? Because a lot of restaurants or a lot of businesses forget the basics. Like smiling. Smiling is number one. Greeting, number two. Number three is, being involved with the menu. So my motto is if there's 3 people dining in, the server is the 4th person with them at the table. You are part of the dining experience. You're not necessarily sitting down with them, but you're creating their experience. So with that 15-minute meeting, we set goals for them. Like, what do you want to sell today? And they tell me, hey, I want to sell the Korean taco. That's my goal today. Okay, how much do you think you can sell today? And they'll tell me, I can sell 6. I'm like, no, I believe you can sell 8. And, I'll push them to do a little more than what they expect out of themselves. But then at the same time, I'll tell them, describe the Korean taco to me. Tell me how you would sell it to the customer. Okay. And if they don't paint a perfect picture for the customer, I correct them and I give them a better way of selling it. Because at the end of the day, customers only have a 6 to 10 second spiel, 6 to 10 second attention span. So if your spiel's not in that time frame, you lose a customer. They're going to be looking up in the air. They're going to blank you out. So we put that together, and then I find out what the server doesn't want to sell or what she's having troubles with selling on our menu, and then I work on that even more. Okay. Because I make that a goal too, because I want them to become better at their weakness, and I want them to become better at their strengths.
That's beautiful.
Yes. But before when I did the goals back in 2016, I would incentivize them. You sell 6 tacos, you get $3. And then and then each one after that you get $1. So I made them a partner on the menu. Yeah. And that made them better. And after a year or two, I pulled back that incentive and they just became better salespeople.
I was gonna ask you that. I don't want to bring it up because I don't know if you watch this or not, but I was going to ask you about that incentive because I've seen businesses do that where they want to sell more of something. So they're like, hey, you sell this much, I'll give you this much.
Of course. Yeah. And that's a good approach, I think. I think by the end of the day, if you make it busy enough, they don't need goals like that no more because they're making so much tips that, you make the place busy, you run it the right way, people want to work with you. Yes. And people want to work with me, no matter if they hate me for how strict I am and my standards of operation, but they still love me when they get paid. Because at the end of the day, I create a revenue center for everybody. Exactly. So servers have left me, and I've let good servers go, good cooks go, good bartenders go, and they either called me a year later and thanked me for everything I instilled in them, or they came back and said, you know what, I never knew how good I had it here until I left, and I went and worked somewhere else, and you made me a little more open to seeing a bad business ran. Yeah. And they felt secured with me. And I do offer all my employees Blue Cross Blue Shield. Really? I do offer private dental, private vision. I believe that's very important for you to offer your staff that if you want to keep them. That's one of the most important things in careers nowadays. People look for benefits. So people want structure, number one, which I give them. People want security, which I give them. And people want benefits.
So how did you learn all this? Where'd you learn this from? Is this from the tanning salon you learned all this?
I mean, tanning salon instilled a little bit in me, but I learned more at the Avenue. I had a lot of trials and errors at the Avenue. Okay. I made mistakes that pushed me harder and that made me better, and I made mistakes that I repeated, and I still learn from them. I think mistakes are okay because they make you better. I think errors are okay because as long as you correct them, they push you and advance you in life. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I had a really good staff at the Avenue. I was very blessed. I can't say I did it alone. I had a really good staff that really cared about the place. I made sure they cared. That was the biggest thing. I wanted them to care like I cared. I believe in teamwork. Teamwork's huge. If somebody has a table and it's right here, and then there's a table here and a table here and a table here, they should, though they're not their tables, they should put their head on a swivel and pre-bus them or check on them.
I've seen that before.
Yes, so that's important. I think that's important too, and I try to instill that because at the end of the day, if everybody helps each other, you'll never feel like you're overwhelmed.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So okay, you said about how you teach basically you taught them. You taught your employees like to actually care about the menu and care about the employee. Like I'll give you an example. I went to a steakhouse once, and we had a waiter who was an asshole. I'll tell you that straight up. He was rude and everything was rude. We got another waiter. He was so kind, so friendly. He sat with us in the table, opened the menu, started reading us everything. We gave him like a $50 tip because that level of service is beautiful.
It is.
And I felt that with your people before.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
Yeah.
So my staff, so what I did at the Avenue, I built an experience.
Basically.
So from the minute you walk in to the minute you leave, it's like Disneyland. You know, you have to give the customer experience. If there's no experience, it's a money grab.
Basically.
And I don't want that. So I tell my servers, I'm like, hey, they're coming here, driving for half an hour, waiting for half an hour to get a table, sitting for half an hour and eating, and then driving back home for half an hour.
You have to make it all work.
Those 2 hours got to be worth it for them. They took 2 hours out of the day. We can't waste them.
Makes
We
sense.
can't take that for granted.
That's beautiful.
You know, so Avenue ended up being a food powerhouse, and my food ended up being 80% of my sales, and my liquor and beer and pop and all the beverages became 20% of my sales.
When did you see that switch?
2020.
2020?
So I remodeled the Avenue 3 times.
Okay.
The first time when I opened,
Yes.
the second time in 2016,
Okay.
and the last time in 2020.
Okay.
So I shut down in February 2020 before everybody shut down for COVID, and I started remodeling, not knowing that COVID came.
Safe.
And everybody ended up closing with me. And I feel like if COVID didn't hit, I would have had a hard time reopening in time
Why is that?
because my construction took a little longer. I ended up letting go of my contractor in the middle of the job, and I ended up taking over the whole project.
You did it yourself?
Yes.
Wow.
I had the help of Tony.
Yeah.
I had the help of Linda Beydoun, interior design.
Okay.
I had the help of Mo Abdullah, which is one of my partners at Unburger and Egg Bar now.
Okay. Nice.
And Mo Abdullah is a big brander and designer, and he helped us instill a lot of like nostalgic stuff in there with the neons, with the murals.
But I love that.
Yeah, so that was all him, you know. And I've always wanted to work with Mo
Yeah.
my whole life. Before then, way before then, I used to rent out venues and throw puff parties. They're called puff party. I would rent out like Parisian Bistro, which is now Modern Greek. Back in the day, and I would sell hookah, and bring in a DJ, and
You were doing this when?
probably when I was like 19, when I had the tanning salon, 20 years old.
Really?
Yes.
Small that.
So I had that experience too,
Yeah.
and that was I would count that as like my hobby. That was more of a hobby. I like seeing people get together. I like creating an experience and having some kind of event in Dearborn.
So you did that as you're running the tanning salons.
Yes.
You were doing this on the side.
Yes.
Wow.
As I was running the tanning salon too, I worked at Subway still. I went back to Subway.
Holy smokes.
I worked at Ollie's, my brother-in-law's restaurant.
Okay, nice.
And my and I also worked at the gas station part-time still and helped my cousin.
All at the same
All at the same time when I had tanning salon.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had about 4 jobs.
At once.
Yes.
And you were doing it because the money helped, but
Yeah,
you
but
were doing it to learn.
Yeah, I was doing it to learn and I didn't think about it. And now if I think about it like I'm gonna go open my own business and work for somebody else, that would be crazy for me to think about it. But at that age, I was just hungry. I knew I wanted to be successful. I didn't care what I was doing. I didn't care how much I was doing it for. I've never asked for a raise from any of my employers. I always received it because of my hard work.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And I think the work ethic is the most important thing. And I think my dad helped me instill that work ethic.
Describe your father to me.
So my father came here in 1971,
Okay.
and he went to New York. And yes, he opened up a party store, convenience store. And my dad didn't speak a lick of English, and they would have to write down what they wanted the customers. And my dad would read it, try to match it to a pack of cigarettes or whatever he's selling. And he would get robbed once a week. Yeah, it was pretty ghetto.
Oh, he was in the hood?
He was in the hood.
Okay.
And, he's a foreigner that didn't speak a lick of English. And then he spoke to one of his first cousins here, and he told him, hey, I got a job opportunity for you at Ford. And my dad left there, packed up, and came here.
Oh, here?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And then he worked at Ford for a little bit, and then he left Ford. He opened up a restaurant in Dick's in the South End. He was one of the first Arabic restaurants. I really don't remember. But he was open 24 hours.
24
Yes.
hours?
And his best friend was Ronnie Berry's dad.
Nice.
And he was supplying with the meat, and they were next door to each other, right next to Ronnie Berry. Yes.
That's beautiful.
God rest his soul. His dad was a really good man. One of my dad's friends, yeah. Yes.
So tell me more about your dad.
And then he ended up, he failed because he didn't have help. So my brother and I were around, we could have helped him.
Yeah.
He didn't have the staff he needed. And back then, if you opened up a restaurant, you needed a family of 9 to run it.
Family of 9?
Yeah, that's how they, with our culture, with the Albanian culture, the Greek culture.
Yeah.
They would go into a restaurant with,
The
a
whole
big
family,
family,
yes,
and they would run it, and it was a lot easier. So my dad didn't have that support.
He was by himself.
He was by himself.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So that closed down.
That closed down, or he sold it. I think he sold it.
Yeah.
Broke even on it, and then ended up getting a job at General Dynamics.
What's that?
It's like where they build tanks for the United States and all that.
Oh.
Yes. But my dad was just a custodian there.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, and after years of being there, my dad would take 4 buses to get there, 4 buses to get home.
What's the job?
It's a job.
Oh wow.
And he struggled, but he never got on welfare. He never believed in government help. He said other people need it that are more deprived than us. And in 1985, I was 1 year old. My dad had a massive heart attack.
Oh.
It was a widowmaker, and thank God he survived it.
A widowmaker means
He should have never made it.
Oh wow.
And he made it. It was a triple bypass. So they cut my dad from here all the way down to his ankle, then from his other ankle all the way up to here. That's how they did the heart surgery back then.
Oh.
What's a small incision now was open body surgery.
They'll cut you up in your whole body.
So my dad's still scarred, yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So in 1985, my dad retired from General Dynamics, and he ended up taking his money and buying a duplex on Manor, 2 apartments that he rented out, and that got us by. And then one time General Dynamics called him in to sign a piece of paper. He really couldn't read English, and they took away all his benefits.
Wow.
And he didn't know what he signed, and he signed it. So thank God he had that duplex that was giving us income, so we still survived.
Well, that's messed up.
Yes, and then he ended up selling that Manor place, and then he bought the Plaza. And that's my dad's story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he still here?
Yes.
No.
Thank God, yeah. And he's one of my inspirations in my life.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
That was your mentor. Bro, that's beautiful.
It was. And my dad would tell me a few things. I would ask him, like, how would I succeed at Tanks Lines? Like, just stay there. Stay open till 10. I would leave at like 9:50, try to go out with my friends. And I took my dad's advice, and sometimes I would make 500 in the last 10 minutes. I'm like, wow, yeah, his formula works. Just stay in your business. Don't try to rush. Don't try to close early. So taking that model, at the Avenue, if we close at 10, you walk in at 9:59, you're going to be greeted and sat.
But that's kind of messed up on the person that did that. Yeah,
It is.
Yeah,
But again, I pay them till that time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you don't do that, if you don't allow that for your business,
You're gonna lose customers.
your business start closing at 9:40. At 9:30, you'll see your hour drop. And I think you should stick to your hours.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the most important things I've learned from my dad is, stick to your hours and make sure you stand by them. Yeah.
So my dad told me the same thing. So my dad told me that 2 things. So number 1, my dad told me is don't go to businesses with a partner. He told me that.
Yes.
But you're proving that wrong.
Yes.
You found a good one.
Yes.
That's very rare.
It is.
And then another thing he told me is if you have a business and if you're not there taking care of the business and then your workers do it, it's gonna go to hell.
Of course.
Yeah. And I didn't believe that until I actually started working there. I'm like, man, he's right. Because if I'm not there every day, it's going bad.
It is.
The workers won't give a
Presence is everything.
They don't care.
Yeah, even if you show up for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just show up for every shift.
Yeah.
That's how you keep everybody in. You got to hold people accountable.
Yeah.
So if there's no manager or controller in a business, it's a free for all. And if you can't hold, and if your manager is not good, your staff is only as good as your manager.
That's true.
So you have to pay the right people in the right position, and that's what got me far. Is I hired the right people. Either I developed them, they weren't the right people, and I made them the right people, which I love. I'd rather take somebody that has no knowledge and build knowledge into them.
You love training people.
I do.
Okay.
And I think training is very important.
It is.
A lot of times I would tell somebody if they're training, you got to narrate. Be that Morgan Freeman. Talk about what you're doing. Like, okay, I'm throwing lettuce in here, this amount of lettuce. I'm throwing tomatoes in here. I'm throwing onions in here. I'm throwing cheese in here. I'm throwing ranch. 1, 2, 3. I'm throwing my chicken in here. Now you got a chicken bacon ranch wrap. Make sure you mix it really good. Make sure you got equal parts of everything. Everything's a balance. You don't want too much onion. It'll overtake the sandwich, Put it in the wrap. Make sure your ends are tight. Roll it really good. This is how you roll. This is how you put it in the panini press. This is how it comes out. This is how you cut it. Let the knife do the work. Don't press it like that. So I teach everybody everything, and I teach them everything I've learned.
Yeah.
Now if they find their own approach to it, most of the time there's only one approach. There's the right way, there's the wrong way, then there's your way and my way.
Yeah.
I always tell people I don't do it my way. I do it the right way.
Smart.
And I feel like there's 2 ways of running a business, and that's how it is. So developing people is telling them why you're doing something a certain way, not just showing them, explaining to them.
Explain why we do this and how we do this. That makes sense.
And this is the result you get. So again, like at the Avenue, if we're busy and we're slammed, Yeah, I tell my manager to turn off online ordering. I don't do DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats at the Avenue. We're too busy. I don't want to take I don't want to take away from the customers that are paying and the customers that are loyal to us.
Okay.
So I'm not going to money grab for a third party. I do at Unburger because Unburger is a QSR.
What's that?
Quick service restaurant.
Okay.
So it's able to handle that.
Fast orders.
Right?
Okay.
So Avenue wasn't. And I never brought it on. And I could have elevated my business 30% a month, and I didn't do it because I wanted to make sure I kept the staff. I didn't overwhelm my staff, and I didn't hurt my customers that were there for the experience.
Okay.
Now my carryout game at the Avenue is huge. When I took over, when I remodeled after COVID, my total sales, let's say they were 10% carryout, and moved up to 30% carryout.
How'd you do that?
From COVID. So when we first opened, we were limited to only takeout.
Yeah.
Even when I relaunched, I did a special on Instagram where I told people come and pick up free food. And I would have everything laid out, like 5 wraps of the chicken bacon, 5 feta wraps, American classic sliders, white barbecue brisket sliders, tacos, and they would come grab what they want.
Why did you do free food?
Because I had to practice. I needed practice with my new cooks. So I had a brand new staff when I opened after COVID. I only kept probably 5 of my team members, which were my core team. Everybody else was brand new.
Maybe a core team, like chefs and...
a chef, my managers up front, my expo manager, my prep people. I kept a certain amount of people, and everybody kind of got lazy at that time, and they wanted to go home and collect unemployment.
That makes sense.
And the government assisted them with that. So so it kind of hurt us, but at the same time, I had to do a trial and error service for customers to come pick up our free food because I wanted to train my staff.
So when you gave out the free food, did you have any customers who were coming back to say, hey, this was bad, this was
Never.
Good?
Everybody thanked us.
Then how did you... No. I'm asking you, so you know how I do it?
Yes.
I tell the owners, when you were giving out free food to test your chefs, did you have any customers coming back with their feedback?
No. Other than good feedback. But again, it was free.
Yeah.
So it's hard for you to get feedback from a customer if you're giving away free food.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Maybe I did have some mishaps in there, but they didn't tell me about it. They were very thankful.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
But I could tell when something comes up from my window. So how I control the Avenue the most. I worked Expo. Expo is expediting.
When the food comes out, you look
yes.
at it.
So I look at it, I check it, I replate it if it's got a blemish on the plate. Like I was so OCD with my window that I couldn't replace myself because nobody would work like me. And I control the whole business from that position. If you're working window, you're seeing everything come out of your kitchen. You're controlling your dish tank area because it's still right of you. You're controlling your servers. You're controlling the flow. Everything is controlled from the expo position. I think that's one of the most important positions in a restaurant.
So, because you're not there now, who's there now?
So right now, everybody that I trained is running the show there.
So they're doing it the same way,
yes.
way you want it.
Yes.
Okay.
And they actually are worse than me now. So if I walk in there and I try to work, and they'll correct me. But one thing about my staff, like even when I was training them, if they corrected me about doing something wrong, I've never barked at them because that's why I taught them. So if I'm not doing it the way I taught them, they should correct me.
Smart.
And sometimes I would do it purposely to see if they correct me, and they would. And I would listen to them. I'll take orders. I was like I went from being a general to being a soldier to them. And you have to be humble enough to do that. I've never had an ego. I think egos suck. Has it arrived here and there with me sometimes? Yeah, but I fight it. Because at the end of the day, I'm no better than anybody. These people have important lives too. They have responsibilities, and they care about the place. So if somebody cares about the place, I care about them.
That's what's hard to get. Find someone who actually cares about you.
Of course.
That's almost this near impossible to find.
So that's where development comes in. And we talked about this, you and I. Development is very important. Like, people don't take the time to develop their employees. Now, I tell my employees, if I have a higher standard for you than you have for yourself, that's a problem. And we got to work on that. So a lot of times I ask them the right questions, get the right answers. Like I said, I work on their weaknesses and I build their strength, right? So you have to develop them, or they won't enjoy their job. They'll feel stagnant. They'll be stagnant. They're comfortable. You don't want them to be comfortable. No.
They get too comfortable and
mess
everything up.
Like when somebody tells me it's like my house, I treat it like my house. I'm like, please don't, because I don't want to see your house. I don't treat this place like my house. I treat it like a business. Right. Or people tell me I treat it like it's mine. I'm like, no, don't treat it like yours. Treat it like it's the Avenue. Because at the end of the day, it's a brand, right? And if you don't stay loyal to that brand, like I can't have a staff if I'm not loyal to a brand. I can't pay them if the money's not coming in for the establishment. So I feel like if they care about the place, and we all have a focus of a brand and where we're going to take it, everything becomes easier.
It falls into place.
It does. Yeah. And a lot of my managers, some of my managers make 6 figures a year.
Small.
Yeah, and that's important. Because again, I don't want them looking for another job. If they're good enough, I want to lock them in for the next decade.
Smart. Well, that's right.
Yes.
You want to hold them because you know how Arabs are. They'll come and steal them from you.
Yeah. That's the thing. Or you think about it one time, like, okay, my manager is getting 60 a year, she wants 70 a year, or he wants 70 a year. Why are you going to let him go for 10,000, retrain somebody, hope they work out, and then you're going to end up paying that person 60 or 70,000 still?
Same thing.
Give that person that's been with you for a while, give them what they deserve.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, then they'll replace you, and they'll replace themselves later and grow with you. And I feel like growth is important. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. So in 2021, I saw that the Avenue was able to self-sustain itself. Of course, I get problems here and there. Yeah. I deal with them. I don't deal with them in a 911 approach. I deal with them in a very soft approach now. I'm a lot calmer than I was before. Okay. I was a little hard to work with at one time in my life because I was so driven, and I was a little more driven than everybody, and I was competitive. I have that MJ competitive mindset, that killer mindset, right? If you don't have that killer mindset, I feel like you're not gonna get it. No. And that killer mindset turns off people, because they don't have it and they don't understand why you have it. But at the end of the day, once the results hit, they understand why you did all that. Yeah. So in 2021, I thought that was, it was okay for me and Tony to take a step back. And we realized that Mo Abdullah, 8 Media Studios, a guy that brands, designs, does a lot for businesses, like stuff that could bring you an extra $250,000 a year.
Really?
Yeah, like the stuff he does. Like for instance, you do a food truck, right?
Okay.
You don't wrap your food truck the right way. You don't brand it the right way. You're losing $100,000 a year.
So he's a designer.
He's a designer brander. But like when people get that mistaken for like he's gonna make you a logo. No, he doesn't do that.
So what does he do?
So he does a logo, but it's part of a bigger package. So like when he does a logo, it's not one logo, it's 10 logos. Why? Because one goes on your sign, one goes on your menu, one goes on a t-shirt, one goes on a wall. He uses badges, like different badge logos for a lot of different techniques in your place. Whether it's, going on a mural, going on a shirt, going on a menu.
Okay, that's what you mean. It's like one major design and then minimal.
Yes, where you could use them in other places. They fit in other places. Because that one design that you're going to put on your sign may not work everywhere else in your business. And then he gives you a color palette, right? Scheme. That you could only use these colors in your place now. So he brands you from A to Z, your website, the way you order, everything, right? So I was very blessed to work with Mo Abdullah from my party days. Mo Abdullah was doing my flyers for my party days. So from the pub parties, back when I was 19, 21, that time in my life. So I always wanted to work with him. Tony thought highly of him too, and he helped us really dial up the Avenue when we reopened, and he branded us from the beginning from 2009 till 2024. Yeah. He's been working with us at the Avenue.
Small.
Yeah. So I talked to Tony, I talked to Mo. I'm like, hey man, it's time for us to start working together. So we decided to create a consulting team.
What is that?
Consulting team to go around consult businesses.
Like if they're doing bad, you help them.
Yes.
Okay.
So meaning that Mo would be the designer and brander.
Yes.
Tony would be culinary more so, and I would be more service. And we all meet. We all end up giving each other advice on the placements that we're in, right?
Yeah.
So our first gig was Unburger.
Unburger was your first project?
Yes.
Okay.
So we met Chris Oliver. He's a chef there. He's a butcher that turned vegan.
Is it the older fellow?
Older man, yes, sir. Great man. Firm believer in God. God-fearing man. Really good chef. Just struggled with his business because of the help mainly. And he was very, very nice to people. And some people took advantage of that.
Yeah,
and whether they did intentionally or unintentionally, I don't know. But at the same time, it hurt, right? Yeah. Because there's a fine line between business and friendship.
Yeah.
And his place, he did what he could. He opened in 2018. All the way till 2022, he was hanging in there.
Yeah.
And I guess he told me he made a 90-day pact with God. And a 90-day pact with God that if God doesn't send him anybody, he might close down or move on. And I came in on the last day, and I ordered some food. I talked to him on the phone that day. And I told him, hey, I'm Karl Macky, and I heard you want some consulting. This was in 2022. So we started our business in 2021. Our first consulting gig was in 2022.
So a year later.
Yeah, a year later. Like 6 months later.
How'd you guys get your name out there?
A couple of friends just got our work. So a friend of mine that used to work for 955, Slim on the radio, told Chris Oliver about us and said, I highly recommend them. You should give them a try. Yeah. So I called Chris, set up a meeting with him. And I pulled off of you and went and got food that same day. And he was working register. And I'm like, he's like, what's the name on that? And I'm like, I was stuttered. I wanted to give him a fake name, fake alias. Yeah. And I go, Carl. He goes, are you the Carl that I'm meeting with on Thursday? And I told him yes. And then I went and tried his food. It was good. And I was surprised. So I said, in my head, if the food's okay, we got something to work with, right? The place didn't look too good. Yeah. It looked like a Halloween horror show. Okay. Because he did what he could with it again. Yeah. But LA Bistro was there for 20 plus years.
LA Bistro was
same location. Yes, and then downtown Delhi. Yeah. And downtown Delhi didn't do much remodeling from LA Bistro, and then Chris took it and didn't do much remodeling from downtown Delhi. So it was still kind of the same place from LA Bistro.
I thought LA Bistro was more farther down. Oh, they moved.
They moved. That was their spot, and that's where they were mainly rocking when they were smaller. Okay. They were well known there, and they still are well known. They still do a really good job. Yeah. So we came in 2022, August 2022. We ended up purchasing. We weren't supposed to buy it. We were supposed to consult. Okay. We handed Chris the price tag, and he said, I was hoping for a partnership. And I talked to the guys. I'm like, listen, this is a good brand. I believe in the vegan plant-based world, right? I think it's going to be hot, and I think it's going to be something that we're going to be serving at a high volume in 2030. It's up and coming, and it's a new way of eating. Whether you're a vegan or whether you're not, it's plant-based, right? It's food you can digest. So we offered Chris an offer, and we all came in, and we're all 25% partners now. All four of us.
That's beautiful.
Yes. And so we watched it. So we signed the paperwork in August, and then we watched it work all the way till April. So from August till April, we watched all the blood clots in there. We watched everything that was wrong in it, the flow, the service, how to better set it up when we remodel.
Why did you say blood clots? Blood
clot meaning sometimes in restaurants, there's when people open, like for instance, if you have a burger shop and your grill's right here, and you don't have a low boy cooler to pull out your burger patties and put them right there, but you got to turn around and get your burgers from over here. When you're busy, you can't do that.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So if your place is not set up right, it's a disaster. And that's what causes a lot of stress, and that's what makes the culinary world hard for people to work in. Okay. That's why kitchen people don't last, because not that it's overwhelming, it's set up wrong. So you have to make it simple, not easy, simple for the cook.
Is it more like how you say Subway? Like
you simplify it. Yes. So if you simplify something, anybody can execute. Yeah. Right. So at Unburger, we watch it, run for 8 months. Yeah. We didn't make $1. And then we ended up shutting down in April 10th, and we remodeled it.
Began construction, because right now I went inside there. It's nice.
Yeah, we totally remodeled it. Yeah. But the thing about Unburger, it has a basement.
It has a basement.
It was like a ran down basement, right? Like every other basement in a restaurant, right? Only if they take the time to remodel it. We put a state-of-the-art prep kitchen down there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We put a walk-in cooler, walk-in freezer, prep area, employee break area. We invested a lot of money down there so we could make everything from scratch. Because when Chef Chris had it, he was making stuff from scratch and he was buying stuff. Okay. We don't like to buy stuff. We like to make all our ingredients and buy the things needed to make those ingredients, but we make everything in-house. Okay. So we were able to make plant-based chicken in-house. Yeah, we were able to make plant-based bacon in-house. We were able to make plant-based ultimate meat in-house. What's that? Ultimate is a meat tasting. And then we were able to make black meat in-house, black bean patties. Those are crazy. Right? Yeah. So with all that, when you're making it in-house, it's a little cleaner approach. Yeah. No soy, no chemicals. Yeah, well, yeah, cheaper and labor heavy, but cheaper outcome. Still, you're getting a cheaper outcome than you buying it finished, and you're getting a better tasting product, and you're getting less chemicals, less processed. Because at the end of the day, we don't, things are very, very highly processed now.
So hold on, I'm sorry I cut you off. You had said no soy, no meat?
No soy.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Which is remarkable, because a lot of vegan food is tied with meat, and soy is not good for women or men. It's a known fact. So we got rid of anything that has to do with peanuts or tree nuts, and no soy. And that's what makes us stand out more than any other plant-based restaurant.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Every plant-based I know has soy.
It does.
That's one of the major downfalls of it.
It is. Yeah. That's what discourages me to eat it. Yeah. Right? So now I'm a big fan of Unburger. I crave it once a week. And not because I'm a part owner, because I really believe in it, and it's really flavorful. and we have a really good staff there now. We ended up tapping into the Dearborn market slightly, but not a Dearborn thing. It's a destination. We draw from all cities surrounding us, and I think we're in a good location for that.
Yeah, this is a beautiful.
It is a beautiful location. So West Dearborn is. So I'm coming back home now.
Okay.
I was in Wayne since I was a kid. I was in Wayne for 20 years almost, 21 years, working like a dog. And I feel like it's there's only 10,000 people in the city of Wayne.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky to see 5% of them come to the Avenue. Lucky, once a month.
Yeah.
So all my customers at the Avenue are all driving a half an hour plus.
That's what we do. Yeah, we drive up there. Most of them are from Dearborn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dearborn Heights. You got people from Columbus, Ohio. Yes, they drive weekly. And that's just stuff I hear. I probably get them from Ann Arbor, Livonia, all the surrounding cities. And I feel like if we were on any other road or any other city like Northville or by J. Alexander's, I think we would be twice as busy. Like on Haggerty Road in that area. I feel like we would be twice or three times as busy.
Yeah.
I feel like we got the short end of the stick in Wayne, but at the end of the day, I feel like all those trials and errors, if I would have had them somewhere else in a bigger city, I would have probably failed. I was able to overcome those in such a small city.
That's what let's say. Like, you said it perfectly.
Yes. So that's important. I feel like everything happens for a reason. So now I'm coming home. What brought me home was Andiamo.
Andiamo?
Yes.
Why?
I was approached by Abudi Baidoun.
Yes.
He's related to me, and he's a really good businessman. He's well known in the gas station world.
Yes.
He wanted to bring the Avenue to the boardwalk, to Andiamo, the old former Andiamo by Ford's Garage, and I wouldn't do it. And I told him that I already get the customers from Dearborn. Why would I compete against myself? Right? Because people already pass up that place to come to Wayne. So I told him I'll do a new experience there, a new model of a prototype of a business, and I want to do the food truck park. So what you see happening now, I want to do back then. And I said, let me test the market and bring the food trucks there. And I did the food truck rally. It did really, really well. A lot of people were recognized there, a lot of food trucks. I helped develop a few people. I helped rebrand Hanky Panky. I helped rebrand Selena through Mo Abdullah. And I feel like they elevated in their business. I was, able to create relationships there. And I feel like everybody I worked with there was an awesome candidate. And I didn't want to do a food truck park at the boardwalk no more. Meaning inside.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be almost like a elevated food hall. But I kept getting, cafeteria feels from it when I would tell people. They would confuse it with the mall or the cafeteria.
Yes.
And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do that. I want to do an eatery style, Vegas style restaurant in there. So what I decided to do was kill the whole idea of me renting out stalls to people because
you told me when I was with you.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was going to be a glorified landlord, and I didn't want to do that, right? How about the people that didn't come in the right uniform? What am I going to tell them? They're not my employees. I can't hold them accountable. How about they open when they want? How about they close when they want? How about their food is not good? Yeah. It falls back on me. Yeah. People are going to think I'm attached to it, which is not going to happen. It could have been probably a great experience, but I didn't want to take those chances. I feel like I should bet on myself and bet on my partner and bet on what we've done in our portfolio, how strong it is. Yeah. So I decided to do a 4-restaurant concept.
In the boardwalk?
Yes.
Okay.
So you will be surrounded by all the kitchens, and you would be sitting in the middle, and I have different kind of settings of seating, right? And one menu.
One menu?
One menu.
For all 4 restaurants?
For all 4 restaurants.
Are they all everyone has their own sector?
Yes.
Okay.
So, but they're all ran by us. They're all, the food is created by us, the dishes are created by us, the menus done by us.
By your team?
By my team, okay. and all the chefs are hired by us, and the concept's us. And I feel like we talked to Mo Abdullah from Nami, and he's going to come on board with Tony and I and start this project.
Nami Sushi?
Yes.
Okay.
He's a really, really smart individual. He's smarter than you could think about in food. Like, this guy is so knowledgeable in food. He knows what people want. He studies his demographics. His food truck was a test for the market, just like we tested, Andiamo with the food trucks in our parking lot.
Where Nami was?
Yeah, where Nami was. And he succeeded with Nami. Nami's a prototype.
Yeah.
It's not even a real thing, He made it a real thing accidentally. It was just supposed to test the market so he could open a brick and mortar later. So, he's still doing his thing with that, but he decided to join our team, Tony and I, and we're going to do the 4 restaurants ourselves. So, with these restaurants, one of them is going to be Italian. You're going to have a dough room, right when you walk in. A glass dough room where you feel all the bread being made for the whole place. Yeah. Next to it is going to be a pizzeria. Next to it is going to be a pasta place.
Also, like as I'm walking in, kitchen.
No, more like one kitchen here. When you walk in the door, one welcome center here, kitchen, one kitchen here for Italian, one kitchen here for sushi and Pan Asian, one kitchen here for like Greek, Moroccan, Mediterranean, Aegean. They call it Aegean food, which is amazing. And then one stall here for deli, where we make our own pepperoni in house.
Okay, nice.
And like everything's gonna work off everything. So if I make my deli meats here, some of them are gonna go to the pasta area, some of them are gonna go to the pizza area, and then some of them are gonna be made for sandwiches in the deli.
Oh, wow.
The Greek Moroccan touch over here, they all feed off each other. That's gonna be more fish, more meat. The Pan Asian is gonna be ramen, elevated ramen, wok, sushi, and then Japanese barbecue.
Ooh,
yes. And then the pizza's gonna be one of a kind. Pasta's gonna be one of a kind. I've always wanted to do it. Like, I came up with the name. I was gonna do side chicken there, and then Marcello opened it in, the gas station, which is a great name. Like side chicken, I was gonna actually create an app for it, where the delivery service like Uber Eats and DoorDash. Where it's called Side Chick. Hey, who's bringing your food today? Side Chick. I ordered from Side Chick. So that was one thing. One way I was gonna use it, and then I was gonna use it for a restaurant concept. But I didn't act on it so fast, so he took it. So God bless him; they deserve it. Marcel's a great operator. But at the end of the day, if you're not first, you're last. And that was my lesson in that. But Boardwalk's gonna be an experience that Dearborn never had, Metro Detroit never had. You're gonna feel like you're in Vegas. It's gonna be theatric. All your food is being made in front of you. You get to watch everything, and it's a show.
It's like a whole. It's an entertainment.
It is
basically.
Because I feel like there's a lot of restaurants in West Dearborn.
Yeah.
And they do good, but there's nothing to hold them. There's nothing to keep them. There's nothing to do in West Dearborn other than drink coffee and eat food.
Yeah.
And with the Boardwalk, I'm going to give them a little bit more of an experience. They don't got to drive to Birmingham no more. They don't got to drive down to Detroit. They're going to have the best place. Like they're going to feel like they're in Brickell, Wynwood, Miami. Mm-hmm. They're going to feel like they're in Vegas. They're going to feel like they're in Cali.
That's what your goal is.
Yes.
Okay.
The Boardwalk's going to be probably the biggest project I've done so far.
I was going to ask you that.
Yes, but I'm going to take notes from the Avenue. Yeah. The Avenue is the biggest project I've done up to today, but I feel like Boardwalk will exceed that.
That's beautiful.
Yes. Now, Dearborn Hills, the city wanted to work with us on Dearborn Hills. They gave us Dearborn Hills.
A golf thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Telegraph Michigan Avenue.
Yeah.
It's a very nice, secluded place with a beautiful view.
I seen your post about it.
Yeah. And we're doing more of a casual J. Alexander's. Have you ever been to J. Alexander's? Where it's J. Alexander's is more like elevated sandwiches, elevated salmon, elevated fish, salads. They're known for their prime rib. So at Dearborn Hills, we're doing a whole different experience. We're gonna make our own corned beef, halal corned beef in house. Oh, wow. That's never been done.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring in our own brisket to make them in house. We're gonna serve walleye there, fish and chips, kind of like a pub meets a tavern.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yes,
yeah.
Something that's never been done too, but it's going to be a whole different style than the Boardwalk.
I love how you're experimenting.
Yes,
that's badass.
Yes, I want to give I don't want to copy and paste. Yes. I hate people that see somebody doing successful, see somebody doing good, and they don't look at it as, hey, this guy worked or this lady worked for 10 years of her life to create this, and God bless them, and let me go support them. They go there, they watch what they're doing, and they open up somewhere near them, and they're money grabbing. And I think that's wrong. I think there's plenty of concepts out there. I think we got a lot of copy and paste in Dearborn. And I'm not hating on nobody. I think everybody's to each their own. But at the same time, you've got to be creative. And if you're not creative, like I don't look at ideas in Dearborn. I don't look for ideas in Michigan. I look up restaurants in Manhattan. I look up restaurants in Cali. I look up restaurants in Dubai. And I try to take a piece of this, and then add my value to it and create my own place and create my own concept.
Yeah. See, no, I don't know if I remember this. I was asking you. I went to SIBO in downtown Detroit.
Yes.
The design of it is beautiful.
Yes.
Right? It's old, classy, but the food was horrible. And in my mind, I'm like, I seen the way you did American Avenue. I'm like, why doesn't Karl just make something like this, where I know for a fact you will execute that perfectly.
Yeah.
The food will be immaculate. The design will be immaculate. Everything will be like a high class restaurant. That's why I envision you doing that. Like, I know for a fact you could do that easily.
Boardwalk would be that place.
Basically.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all I want to see.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Because Dearborn Hills is going to be a little challenging to make it high end, because you gotta still tend to the golfers.
Yes.
Which are everyday eaters. You got to tend to the city. and you got to tend to the surrounding cities.
It'll be open for the public.
It'll be open for everybody, 7 days a week, full restaurant and banquet. We're gonna do small weddings there, small engagements, baby showers. Yes,
That's bad.
we're gonna 120 for the banquet, 120 people. I didn't want to go up to 400, 500. I feel like you lose quality at that point. I don't want to deal with such a large group. I think it's overwhelming, and I want to deal with, on a smaller scale.
Okay.
Yes, and I have a good partnership there with my partner Tony. So everything I do, Tony does.
Yes.
We've never veered off. And then I got my brother coming on board, and my brother did have his own restaurant in Sterling Heights. It was Ollie's.
Ollie's, okay.
Yeah, which did really well, and he was used to all the baptisms, the church Sunday coming in there, all the big parties, all the weddings. So he did all that there, and he did it at the highest quality.
So you have his level of expertise coming in with this?
Yes.
Okay. That's
and then we have Abudi Beydoun with us too. Same guy from Boardwalk.
It's like the Avengers of food.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Exactly. So everybody has their own added value to our concepts. Like,
it all comes in together.
Yes. Nobody's perfect at one thing. We're all good at what we do, and we all come together and bring those great minds together and create something really, really good and an experience that nobody ever had.
That's beautiful.
And now we have Egg Bar. Egg Bar is another consulting gig. We came on as consultants. And Ray is the owner there. That was his concept. He started it.
Ray, Chef Ray?
No, Ray Tarjuman.
Okay.
Yeah, Ray is been in the medical field. He's worked for Lululemon. He's got a really good head on his shoulders, and he brought us on after him and his partner split up, and we came in to consult. Mo was going to brand him and design everything in there, and then Ray said, "You know what? I'll take a partnership, just like Chris." And we said, "Okay, same deal. We come in 75%, and you own 25%, and we're all quarter partner."
Nice.
And Egg Bar was quite the challenge. With Unburger and Egg Bar, designing those kind of places that have 2 entrances and 2 exits, you got to design the place from front and back.
What do you mean so there's only one entrance? Oh, from the back side?
Yes. So it's a challenging design because the avenue has 1 entrance. So you're walking in, and the grand entrance starts right when you walk in. Yeah. With Egg Bar and Unburger, you got to design from both sides. Oh wow. Because people come from both sides, front and back. Yeah. What I like about Egg Bar is it's in a little food hall area. It's like very, very unheard of in Dearborn, where you have Beyond Juice, Mochi Dough, Wingstop, and Egg Bar all together, right? Yeah. And they're all different concepts that are unique. So I think that's going to be a successful place. Egg Bar is going to be Japanese milk bread.
Oh,
yeah,
that in there?
It's called shokupan.
The jiggly cake.
No, Japanese milk bread. So I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So there's Japanese dessert like that, but this is a white bread. So it's like toast.
Oh, I've seen your posts.
Yes.
They're huge.
They're huge.
Yeah.
And we want to make them that huge. Yeah. So they're not as dense as you think. Yeah. So when you see it, you're like, oh my God, it's too much bread. But no, it's resilient enough to hold the toppings inside. And it's crunchy and buttery on the outside and soft on the inside. So we stuff it with eggs. We bake our eggs, so there's no frying the eggs, no oil, nothing. You're getting the cleanest egg possible. We bake and steam it, and then we stuff it in the Japanese milk bread after it's toasted, of course. Yeah. And then we add our halal bacon. We add our creation to it. So we're gonna have 8 sandwiches that you are already created for you. Mm. One being a basic one that if you're a little hesitant to try these special sandwiches, you'll start with that and start believing in us and gain trust, and then try the other sandwiches. We're gonna have hash browns. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have our refreshers, awesome refreshers, competing with who. Yeah. And then we're gonna have iced coffee, and then we're gonna have hot coffee.
So you're gonna have that all set up and
yes.
Oh, it's beautiful. Man.
Yeah, so that's gonna be and again, we're not trying to compete with the big coffee places. We're big fans. I'm a big fan of Black Box Coffee. I go there every day. After Ramadan or before Ramadan, but I'm not having espresso. But these beverages I have, they have to go with egg sandwiches.
You're basically a breakfast spot.
Yes.
So it's catering to everything that's breakfast.
Exactly.
Smart.
Yes.
Same thing with the tanning salon.
Yes.
So everything that's to do with that.
Beauty.
Yeah.
Yes. Or design. Yeah. Egg Bar is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be something that we've never had in the state of Michigan.
No.
You'll see these concepts in Chicago and Vegas, and Cali. Egg Slut was one of my inspirations.
Yes, excellent.
And I've tried knocking on Egg Slut's door since 2016 to bring them here, and I have no answer. And then subhanallah, Ray calls me, and he got my dream to come true, and I hopped on that really quick. And not for money, just for the concept, because I was so in love with the concept.
I love it.
Yeah. So our goal with Egg Bar, hopefully we open on the 8th. That's our gift to the city of Dearborn. That's what we want to do. But the goal with Egg Bar is to franchise it. The goal with Unburger is to franchise it. And, we want to be a part of all that.
Are you, so you're franchising Unburger, you're franchising Egg Bar.
Yes.
Are you going to franchise American Avenue?
No, I can't. It's too hard to scale.
Yeah.
Because it's just a lot of the people I can't replace. I can't mimic those people I have there. They're just the prep people I have there are amazing.
Yeah.
The cooks I have there are amazing. The servers, the managers, everything. You can't clone that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, with these kind of businesses, even though I have a good staff at Unburger, you could clone the system. You can clone the restaurant. It's not
like
hard.
a Subway version.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can deliver to any city, my products. I could, I got GFS as a partner of mine, not on the partner as in a business and a distributor for me.
Yeah.
So I have good relationships with GFS, Pepsi. Good relations are important. And building partnerships and staying loyal to people and not picking Pepsi and Coke and trying to, make relationships with everybody. Pick one company, deal with them. And I feel like that's how you go the furthest.
So you have Pepsi with American Ave, you have Pepsi with Unburger,
Yes.
Pepsi with Egg Bar.
Yes.
Okay, nice.
And I try to build a partnership with them. So they can support me with my franchise when I do open it,
So you watch their back, they got your back.
Yes,
Nice.
absolutely. And I recommend everybody. I recommend them Toast because I think Toast is the best POS system on the market. I think that's the most streamlined you can be. It's compatible with DoorDash, compatible with, all your third parties.
Part, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and all my kitchens, I have KDS screens. They're called kitchen display screens. So nobody grabs a ticket in the kitchen and reads a ticket. And, 5 people got to ask one guy what's on that ticket. Everybody has a screen in the Avenue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they can everything's displayed. Every ticket is displayed. And I send the right items to the right station. Like the fryer guy doesn't see the grill stuff.
Yeah.
Only if the grill needs fryer stuff.
Okay.
So if a white barbecue brisket slider is coming off the grill and it needs onion rings, hand-battered onion rings, then they'll see that slider.
They'll add it to the plate.
Yes.
Okay.
So everything's streamlined at the Avenue. Everything's heavy prep at the Avenue.
You created that process yourself, or you bought it with it?
No, the Avenue. Which one?
The for the
KDS.
Yes.
No. So I'm one of the first to bring it out here.
Okay. Nice.
But they offered it, and I knew they had it, so I'm like, you know what? Let me give this a try.
That's beautiful.
I just don't like tickets. I think tickets are should be used on expediter side.
Okay.
To make sure you're insuring your product. So
double check.
Yeah. So I have screens on the expo side too.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a white and yellow ticket system with the screens for expediting.
Okay.
So once like table 1 comes out and it's 4 items on the ticket, they bring down the white ticket only. The yellow ticket stays up to tell you there's still more stuff coming.
Oh, okay.
If you're doing a carryout and you only got 2 out of the 4 items, you put the white ticket under the boxes and you wait to bring down the yellow ticket once it's complete. Then you swing it to the carryout station.
Okay.
Like everything has its way.
Everything has a purpose.
Yes, even my stickers at Avenue, they're that was one of the things you liked when you recommend.
Man. Yes, thank God, bro.
Because we don't write on it with marker.
Yeah.
We don't have styrofoam. Like styrofoam's so unhealthy for a customer. Like you're melting styrofoam and then feeding them the food in there.
Yeah.
So I stay away from everything. Everything's eco-friendly in my place. Not for, again, it's costing me 3 times the amount, but at the same time, it's for my customers.
Yeah.
I want my Korean tacos to taste the same they would when they're made and a half an hour later.
Yeah.
And they do that. They're not steaming. It's not water. It's not condensation. Those are all important things to me.
And so you have those little containers with the vents in them.
Yes, but I don't have vents. No, I don't need them because the boxes are so friendly to the food that it vents out automatically. It doesn't shut all the way. There's a little gap.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And then the box doesn't yearn for steam, so it doesn't mess up. The boxes are hard. You can tap them. They're very hard. They're still not. They're made from what are they made from? I don't know what they're made from actually. I would have to find that out. But they're not plastic. They're not that black plastic you see at every place.
Recyclable.
Yeah, they're recyclable. They're eco-friendly. I forgot what they're exactly made from, but they are the most eco-friendly box on the market. And I leave that for the professionals. Again, that's my Green Safe hookup. Green Safe is a company that sells all those kind of products to you. And again, I made a good relationship with him, and he's one of my partners for all my places. Now we got into branding, straight from China. And, Unburger is totally branded.
Yeah.
Egg Bar is totally branded.
Yes,
I love branding. Mo is a big asset with branding. I think branding is a check mark for every business. If you're branded well, and your quality is great and your service is great, it's a win-win situation.
That's true.
Yeah.
And branding is literally everything.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, I want people to hold, an Egg Bar bag and you to see it a quarter mile away and say that's Egg Bar.
Yes, sir.
You want to notice that stuff.
The yellow on it is perfect.
It is.
It's very, very
Vibrant.
Vibrant.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
It's very like as soon as you see it, like it's like.
Yeah, I mean, look at that, and you got the Hans too, so it's kind of like a designer bag.
Yeah.
You know, and I love it.
That's the bag right here.
And then you got the cup right here. You know, the cup is the lid is unique. It's very sturdy. It's not like one of those lids that
Damn, bro, it's hard.
Yeah, right. It's not the lid that you could push right through. On our boxes are amazing. They're thick. They're eco-friendly.
Oh, that's no joke.
And then we got the fry cup. We got the handle bag. We want again. We have a lot of like McDonald's is one of my the founder. The movie is one of my favorite movies. I'm not too big of a fan of McDonald's right now.
Yeah, of course.
And all of other businesses, we know why, but they set the standard.
Yeah.
And people like that are successful. You gotta ask yourself, what are they doing that I'm not doing?
Yeah.
And that's what got us where we're at. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
I love how you when I said the intro, you know what it takes and you do it perfectly. That's what I meant.
I'm hard on myself.
Yeah.
I go back home and I critique myself every single day. Did I talk good to people? Did I treat all my staff right? Did I do the right things today? What did I do wrong? What can I fix? And I go back and I evaluate it, and the next day I fix everything. I try to.
A lot of people like that. They do that, but they don't act on it.
No.
You act on
it. Yeah. I'm very hard on myself.
Yeah.
So it's very hard for you to be hard on me because I'm so hard on myself.
Yeah.
And I expect a lot of myself. And I got that killer mindset. You have to have that killer mindset. And I feel like I live every day like it's my last. And I try to do everything that day. Like even stuff that's that I thought was impossible. But by the glory of God, if you wake up and pray, start your day the right way, you're gonna have a successful day. Nobody can stop you but God. That's how I feel. And I compete with myself mainly because I want to be a better person than I was the day before. And when it comes to family's number one to me. My mom and dad are my world. I'm not a mama's boy or a daddy's boy. I still am a man. Yeah. But at the same time, if my parents are not happy, if my sisters are not happy, if my brother's not happy, if my extended nieces and nephews, extended family's not happy, I'm really, really, I feel like I shorted them. I feel like I'm the reason, I could do better for them. I always put them ahead of me.
Don't you feel like there's a lot of stress on your shoulders?
It is, but sometimes you got to be the glue. Sometimes there's a glue piece to every family, and it's either, like my brother takes care of all my parents' medical. I try to help my parents with financial. My sister does, things for my parents that we can't do. My older sister does stuff for my parents that we can't do. So everybody has a role at my house. It's not strictly on me.
Okay.
But some things are on me that some things are on them, and we all together we unite and we try to keep our foundation in our family.
You guys keep it together as well.
Yeah, we do. Okay. And family's really important.
How's your sister doing now?
My sister does real estate, Sada. She's doing really good. She's a mother of 4. She has 4 cats too, and then she has 8 stray cats outside that she
wow.
feeds. Yeah, my sister's like Mother Teresa.
Okay.
She's very, very given. She's selfless. My other sister Zainab, she works for a 3D company that sold in Dearborn for like $252 million during Corona.
Wow.
She was a big part of that success of that company. My brother's been through a few restaurants where he was very successful. His last one was Gateway Deli in Detroit. Okay. It fell short because of COVID. Everything did in Detroit at that time. Believe it or not, the suburbs are what stayed in business with the restaurants and the businesses, and everything in the downtown area kind of fell off.
Okay.
So that's why I want to work with my brother again, and that's why he's coming to Dearborn Hills.
So he's coming with you on this project?
Yes, he's a partner.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
So the business he had, I believe, always, is it still up and running?
No. It's actually, I think it's actually, the one in Sterling Heights is. The ones that my brother-in-law had in Dearborn are not running no more.
Okay.
But it's been through like 3 different hands since he had it.
Okay. And
it's definitely not where it was, but I think they're bringing it back and trying to bring it back where he had it. Okay. To his standard. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, a lot, huh?
That's a beautiful conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I go on and on. I just don't want to go on a rant, but I'm
here for it.
I mean, at the end of the day, keep believing in yourself. Keep giving your customers what they come in for. Don't cut people short. Don't do people wrong. I've never ate somebody's blessing. I never did anybody wrong. I believe in good karma. I believe in helping people. Before we started our consulting gig, I was consulting people for free.
Yeah.
And I still never really even charged anybody because I ended up doing business in both the places I consulted.
Basically, yeah.
You know, and I'm blessed to have those partners. I'm blessed to be working with Mo and Tony. I'm thankful for them, and I'm thankful for everybody I have around me.
That's beautiful.
I have a really good supporting cast.
Man, that's beautiful.
Yes. But there was times, big times where I worked 90 hours in the kitchen. I felt like I was whipped with a whip, and I pinched nerve in my neck. Everybody doubted me. I still persevered, and I was resilient, and I came through and succeeded.
Was that your lowest point?
I think so. Where people they stop believing in you, and you got to believe in yourself, and again you got to develop people, and you got to make them like what they do. And if you teach them, they like what they do. Yeah. If you don't teach them, you're kind of telling them, hey, this is just a paycheck at the end of the day. And that's why you don't want your employees to think that it's more than a paycheck. You want to tell them that, you want to talk to them about who they're supporting, what's important to them. They're human at the end of the day. So they have responsibilities just like you. Yeah. And if you know a little bit about their life, you could go far away with them. Because you got to know what they want. At the end of the day, you got to see what their goals are in life. Are they here for a year? Are they here for 2 years? Do they want to franchise an Unburger one day? Do they want to franchise an egg bar one day? That's all possible. I tell my staff, whatever I got, you're in. You just got to believe in me and give me some patience and give me some consistency. And if you go to Avenue, you notice one thing, everything's consistent. Yeah. And if it's not, I love to hear about it. Like when people hear criticism, I'm not mad when I hear somebody critique me. I'm not mad if somebody tells me, hey, this needed that. Because when you went to Unburger, you corrected me on a few things. And I fixed them. Why? Because your opinion matters to me. A 2-year-old girl came in there, one of my friend's daughters, and she gave me a thumbs down on the plant-based chicken tenders. Yeah. And what I do, I send it to the group, and I go, this is a 2-year-old saying that. So imagine what the 20-year-old thinks. Yeah. So we changed our chicken tender because of the 2-year-old. Now
you're adaptive. Like you take criticism.
Yeah, because there's they're not. You gotta something will come back. As gross as it sounds, right? If they bit from it here, the customer, like a nacho, and they said they didn't like it, I would try it still. Not to try to eat it, try to see what they were thinking. Yeah, maybe that one that went out wasn't as good as the 99 that went out. Mm-hmm. Maybe they didn't mix the brisket enough. Okay. Maybe they didn't mix the cheese sauce. Maybe the lettuce they put on was wilted. Who knows, right? So you got to try and see what the customer's talking about. You can't be that person where the customer's wrong. I mean, when I would do specials, we lost our chef in 2016. That's when we were doing specials heavy. And I called my partner, Tony. I go, hey, what am I doing? Because he was kind of the chef. He goes, figure it out. And he clicked on me.
Damn.
And I started doing specials. And I had waitresses, hey, how'd they like it? I was in the kitchen. And they would come back and be like, and they had it all. They threw it away. Right? I wouldn't snap. I'd be like, man, I got to work on myself. So what I would do is, after my shift at the Avenue, say I got off at 5 o'clock, I'd go to Barnes & Noble in Ann Arbor, grab a coffee. They had a Starbucks there. And I would look at, books about cooking. I would research menus online all over the country and out of the country. And I would learn from other people.
So you do basically research and development?
Yes.
On yourself?
Yes. Yeah. And then I would learn and I would create new specials that were bangers. And then people started liking my specials and I wasn't even a cook. Okay. My partner threw me in the kitchen, and I'm glad he did because he told me you'll never be a good front house manager if you don't know the kitchen.
That's smart.
And he threw me in there, and I persevered, and I created, the candy pecan feta salad with the dressing, the creamy balsamic. I created the Brussels sprout salad with the dressing. Had no culinary experience, like culinary experience, like chefery.
Yes.
And I learned how to be a chef.
You didn't go to any school?
No.
Through full experience.
Trial and error.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think it's better that you did that or school?
Because school I think it limits you, right? I think having butterflies and fear and overcoming that and learning and failing and learning and failing again and learning and failing again until you come up with the best product possible. I think that's the best way of learning. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I agree with that 100%. Mm-hmm. You have to go through and make mistakes.
Yeah,
you have to
have peaks and valleys in life. Because without a valley, there would be no peak.
Exactly.
Right? And you need that. And I love failure because it got me where I'm at. But when I failed, nobody knew. That's the thing.
Oh, you hit it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hit it and I knew that I failed and I would work on it.
But having people know that you failed is minor to knowing that you failed.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what was important.
That hurts.
Knowing that I failed,
yeah.
I knew that I had to persevere.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to opinions too much. I didn't hang out. I didn't party like other people do. I stayed in my work mode. I would work 90 hours a week. I would miss all family events,
Yeah, no joke.
weddings, engagements,
Since you're a kid,
birthdays. Yeah, I mean, by the Avenue, that was my biggest learning experience and my learning curve. And I'm still learning. I'm not better. Again, I'm not better than anybody. I feel like there's a lot of learning to do. I feel you learn until the day you die. That's why Allah can tip back, your age, your Amr.
That's at the same time.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes.
I still been to the day.
I mean, my dad's 85, small Amr Killa Mashak. But like 10 years ago, he served me coffee when I woke up. And my dad would grab it from here. And I taught my dad how to grab it from the handle, not from here. Because like my servers, when they grab drinks or beverages, I don't like them grabbing this from here, even in the waitress station. Because if they grab it like that there, they're going to grab it like that at the table. So like my dad learned something new from me at 75. So when people tell you they're too old to learn, that's not true.
It's not true.
Yeah.
Other than right now where you have the boardwalk, and other than you have hamburger is completed.
Yes.
Like you're done with that.
I still have some design elements I got to do, but yeah, almost done.
But 95%.
Yes.
Egg bar, you're just about to open up soon.
Yes.
So that's your baby project, and then you have boardwalk, and then you have the
Dearborn Hills, yes.
Do you have anything like in the future?
Yes, Unburger and Egg Bar in Ann Arbor.
Ann Arbor?
Yes.
Dude.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I want to try to get those up before the boardwalk.
What are your vices? Do
Um,
you want to talk about that one or no?
I mean, TV. Trying to work out. I love working out, but I don't have enough time sometimes. Watching a show, binge watching.
How do you
eating junk food?
Junk food?
Eating at night.
Yes.
That's my biggest weakness. Other than that, nothing really. I mean, when I was younger, yeah, I'd like to, if I could take anything away from myself, it would be, not playing poker, not hanging out with my friends, not betting, football, that kind of stuff.
You kind of regret it, but also made you who you are now.
It did, because it made me work harder. So I would lose money and then I would work harder.
Makes sense.
I'd beat myself up. It would always humble me.
Exactly.
Yeah. So things that I failed at or things that I've made mistakes with outside of work, I feel like it humbled me.
Okay.
And I feel like it made me more hungry and more driven. Yeah.
Okay.
But the best thing I like, so did people ever tell me, I read that one of your questions was, did people ever tell me you can't? Yes. When I first opened the tanning salon, people doubted me. When I opened the Avenue, some guy asked me, what are your projections? And I told him, 30,000 a month for the first couple months, and then I hope to reach 60 to 80,000 a month in gross by 6 months. And he told somebody to hold his drink while he laughed at me hysterically. And then within 6 months, I hit exactly what I said. I exceeded it to like 98,000 at the Avenue Small Lot. That was when I was, 24. And I took my sales report and I put it in his face. And I go, like, there's a movie about, like, how about that man?
Yeah.
I did one of those, right? And then later on, that person called me to consult him. And I consulted him. And again, I've been consulting since I was 24. Helping people out. And from the kindness of my heart, because I want to see people do better. I feel like there's the secret recipe to success is helping others.
Just asking again.
Yes.
And being able to receive it.
Yes. And again, I feel like a lot of people open restaurants and businesses for the wrong reasons, and I think they should have better reasons on doing what they do.
They should have a reason other than making money.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest failure in a lot of people is it's money. They worship money. And money should not be worshipped. It's a tool to succeed and know how to use it. Don't love it. Respect it. And, another thing I believe in is charity. I feel like, more people should give back to whoever it is, whatever religion, anybody in need, they should help. And I'm a big firm believer in donations. I'm a big firm believer in helping the orphans. My dream, my ultimate dream, I don't think any of these are dreams. I think they're goals.
Yeah.
My ultimate dream is to open an orphanage.
Well,
yeah.
Beautiful.
That will be the success factor in my life. I would feel accomplished if I did that and I was able to, and I'm going to find a way to eventually do it.
Totally.
Yeah.
That'd be beautiful.
Yes. And not only an orphanage like for food or for stuff like that, for schooling, for boarding. I want to be a part of it. I want to oversee it. I want to make sure they're treating them right. I want to make sure they're developing them. That's my ultimate goal.
Well, that's beautiful.
Yeah. And I wanted to do that as a kid.
So having that in great kids, so now you're just building up to that point.
Yeah, really. I'm building an umpire so I can, self-sustain all my all my businesses and my future goals. So I don't have to work, and I can focus on those kind of things and giving back.
I feel like you and Sam can go on that really easy.
Yeah, for sure. Sam Ali?
Yeah.
Sam Ali's a great guy.
I love that guy.
Yeah. He helps out a lot of people too, from the kindness of his heart. And the thing is, when you help out people, the worst thing to do is go like this and then go like this to receive, right? That's the worst thing you could do.
He's not like that.
No, nobody's like that. Like a lot of people that I'm around are not like that. Yeah. You can't have a motive in helping people. You can't expect something in return, and that's people's biggest problem. Is they expect too much out of people. You know, whether you're helping them or not helping them, don't have expectations for people that that are your expectations, not theirs.
Yeah.
And in a work world, it's different to have expectations out of people.
That's different.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
Because this is detrimental to your income, detrimental to their income, detrimental to your success, right? But when you're helping people outside of work, you should never expect nothing in return. Yeah. And that will, less disappointments, more impact on people, especially somebody in need. You can't expect good karma because you did something good.
That's true, but also I believe that's it's a two-way street.
How?
Because it depends on the situation you're putting it in.
Yes.
For example, charity, 100% I agree with you.
Yes.
But if you're doing that with other people and they're knowingly they're taking advantage of you as you're doing
wrong.
Then that's bad.
Yeah.
And then if you don't pay attention to that happens like that.
And that's a parasite. Yeah. That's like a parasite. That's like a human parasite, where they suck your blood, And at the end of the day, you don't want to be around people like that. There is negative people out there, and your supporting cast or people that you surround yourself with can't either build them up or ditch them, because if they're negative, if their life is not as structured as yours, it will affect you. Yeah. You will become them. Either they become you or you become them.
You are who you become.
Yes, and that's really important. You got to be vigilant to that. You got to be aware of that, and you got to try to either make people better or walk away and work on yourself and work on other people. Mm-hmm. Because the thing I learned most is if you develop people, if you train them, if you give them all the right tools and resources, you're actually developing yourself too. Mm. You're not just developing them. I always got better when I trained people. Yeah. It made me more conscious of what I'm saying, what I'm doing, how I'm moving, and that helped me out a lot.
Because you're basically guiding them, and if you say one wrong thing, it doesn't mess you up in the future.
Exactly.
So you learn to adjust.
Yes, and you want to lead by example.
Yes.
So like a lot of my businesses, actually all of my businesses, I don't allow phones. They got to be put away in lockers.
Really?
Yeah, because they're there for the customer. So you might get a bad text from your boyfriend or girlfriend or your sister, and then be in a bad mood and treat the customers like crap. So I put phones away. The phone policy, 0 tolerance. Okay. Yeah. Wow. And that's helped me a lot too, because now we're more focused on the customer, and the reason why we're there is for the customer.
You learned all that by yourself?
Yes, because I would go to other restaurants, and it's famous. You see that phone in that back pocket, and that's my biggest pet peeve. Apple Watch phones. It's different if you work at a gas station. You can do that, right? If you work at an oil change mechanic shop, it's different. But when you're in customer service like a restaurant, it's very, very hard to tend to both.
That's how we are too.
Yes.
I hate it because our workers are on their phone.
Yeah.
Customers are they're like this, and you're the customer.
Yeah.
And they're in their phone.
Yeah.
That's what we hate.
They don't look up. They don't look at them. They don't try to sell. Mm-hmm. They don't acknowledge the customer. The customer could be putting something in their pocket. Yep. Who knows? Because they're so busy with their phone. And at the end of the day, I feel like that hurts the brand, that hurts the business, and it takes away from the customer experience. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, the statistics say that if a customer comes to you one time, mostly at a restaurant, they're blown away, the chances of them coming back is 54%.
Really?
Yeah. Then you give them a second experience that blows their socks off. Their chance of coming back is 74%.
Oh, so it increases.
It increases, or 60%, and then the third time is 74%. So that's having a great experience. So imagine a bad experience.
I know a lot of people, because the food reviews, people will tell me, hey, I just had this place, it was horrible, I'm never going back there again. I tell them, why don't you just go tell the owner?
Yeah.
Tell them, give them your experience, let them see if they can work it out.
Of course.
They won't do it because they're lazy. No, I'm good.
Yeah. You know how many restaurants you helped? Mm-hmm. And again, by telling them the honest to God truth. Now, some people might think, sometimes people think it's harsh from you. Sometimes people think it's you being biased. No, it's you being honest, right? So at the end of the day, you want these businesses to do good. You give people a chance sometimes 3-4 weeks before, while they're open, you give them a month period before you go there. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Like who?
Turkish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turkish Village?
Yeah.
I went there yesterday. They have pretty good kanafa.
Yeah.
They have good tea, but they need a controller there.
I didn't do a review there. I went there with my family just to go try out the
Yes.
I knew they're short staffed.
Yeah.
But it's incredible how short staffed they are.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not short staffed anywhere. You got to know how to hire.
Yeah.
You got to know who to hire. And a lot of these restaurants, they put like the hostess, right? They put you a 16-year-old hostess. That's the first face you see. And the hostess is usually the controller of the business. So at the Avenue, I put my manager as the hostess.
Smart.
Because she's the first person you see. She's handling the flow. She's not overwhelming your kitchen. She's not beating up your staff. She's giving them the best experience. The first impression is everything, right? And then on top of that, I do something different at the Avenue that nobody saw before. So at the Avenue, when you greet a table, usually it's, here's your menu, and run away, right? That's the hostess, right? Sometimes they forget to tell the waitress that they have a table, right? My manager greets, and I had this motto for a long time, and so many people came into my business and worked with me, and they told me that it's the dumbest thing they ever heard of. They doubted it. So when my manager greets, she goes over the menu with you and she sells you appetizers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they do.
So they get you up to like a $50 bill.
Yeah.
Which again, I'm not against because I sell because it's the most important thing to me because that's what keeps us in business.
Yeah.
But I'm selling you, like I tell them, you're not deceiving anybody by selling them. We're giving them a high quality product, so it's exchange. So they'll sell, and then by the time they go tell the server, hey, you got table one, I got you a brisket nacho sold, a jalapeno cheese dip, and a cheddar crust quesadilla all out first. You got to confirm. So then the server comes. Before they said hello, they're making $10 tip. They haven't said hello yet.
Yeah.
Because the manager got them up to $50.
Yeah.
So then the server says hello, and then they confirm the appetizers. They try to add one more, maybe, right? If they're a good salesperson. And then they go into their entrees. And the thing about the Avenue, how I set up the menu, I set it up for a shareable menu. Why? Because big hams might come, and the quesadilla is great, but it might not be your style food. So your brother might order a Korean taco, and you try the Korean taco. Now you like the Korean taco, and you're coming back. And your brother might try the quesadilla, and he might like that better. So that's why it's important for my menu to be a shareable menu.
That worked, man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's perfect.
It is.
That's exactly what happened to us.
And where I picked that up from was Green Dot Stables.
Where's that?
A place in downtown. They do mini sliders, a whole bunch of mini sliders. I didn't pick up that concept from them, but I picked up the shareable concept from them. And how do we eat in our culture? Everything's masa style. Everything's in the middle of the table, and we take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, so that's what I was accustomed to. So I wanted to give the customer the same thing.
Man, that's beautiful.
I think food the term breaking bread has caused world peace. Has been a part of, sit downs with people that were in war for years because they broke bread with each other. So breaking bread with each other is very significant to me. It's very impactful to relationships. Yeah. So I think, having that the shareable item menu is very important. And flavor profiles. Like, we're big on our flavor profiles. Like, I want you to have a party in your mouth when you take a bite of my food. Because, we're giving you the savoriness, the sweetness, the saltiness, the earthiness. Everything has a reason of being in there. So when you come to Avenue, I don't let you modify your food too much, right? You can take away, but even if you take away, I try to fight you on it. Like for instance, a cheddar crust quesadilla. You don't like onions, right? Say you don't.
Yeah.
It's a wood-fired chicken. It's a 10-hour truly caramelized onion. We bring in poblano and Hungarian peppers. We pickle them in house. Monster mozzarella cheese inside, cheddar crust on the outside. So now you take out the onions, right? You kill there's no more balance in that food. But what I tell customers and what I tell my service to tell customers that, hey, those onions are not what you think. I'm not a big fan of onions either, but they're 10-hour truly caramelized. So we put them in a witch's pot and we stir them for 10 hours, right? So that onion tastes like candy in your mouth. So I tell the employees to tell the customer that this tastes like candy in your mouth.
Okay, I see what you mean, yeah.
And it's a perfect balance with the peppers. So you take out the onions, now it's overwhelming with heat.
Yeah.
If you take out the heat, it's overwhelming with sweetness.
So you take one item out, match everything else.
It does.
Yeah.
So we try to drive our customers to get the food the way it is. And we don't do substitutions. I try my best not to do substitutions because it ain't Burger King. It's not your way, it's our way. We're the professionals. We created this menu. We're not being cocky about it, but at the same time, we know what flavor profiling is, and that's what we're giving you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's better to have it that way because when people do too much of that, it kills the whole
experience. It does. Then they're cooking at home, and then they're going to send that item back. They're not going to like it, and they're going to blame you.
Yeah, exactly.
When they're the ones that messed it up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's important to me, too.
Man.
Yeah.
There's so much thought that goes into owning a
There is, man.
So much.
And, okay, let's talk about menus. Like, if you have more than this as a menu.
It's over.
You are hurting your cooks. You are telling your cooks, give me everything at 70% and below. Because you have 100 items on your menu and you only have 40 seats. Why do you have 100 items on your menu and 40 seats? It does not make, the math is not right. Like, so there's a Cheesecake Factory approach where you could have a 200 item menu, and people, when they think Asian, they come to you. When they think Italian, they come to you. When they think American, they come to you. That's not cool. I don't think it is. It works for Cheesecake Factory, but I don't think it'll work for anybody else. You're pretty much putting your foot on the cook's neck when you do that. They're overwhelmed. They are not going to perfect the dishes no more. You're taking away the significance of cooking.
You're doing more quantity than quality.
Yeah, and then you're giving a lot of options to your servers where they're not focused on selling anything no more. They have no opinion on anything because it's so much items. And at the same time, it's almost like a close your eyes and pick something and hopefully it's good.
Yeah, basically.
And that's where I want to stay away from. So the Avenue, I have 34 items including sides on my menu, and I have a 128 seater.
Oh, wow.
2100
seater?
128 seater
Okay.
with only 34 items including sides.
And it works out well.
Yes, and then I'm able to make stuff from scratch, and I'm able to perfect everything. And now I'll accept everything at a 90% and above. I know it's not going to be 100% all the time. I know that because I got to be there making it, or I'm not even that good. Everything's going to be a 90% and above. I'll take an A-. I push them for an A+, and if I get it, that's great. And if I don't, the customer won't know.
They'll know easily.
Yes, so it's very important that you keep your menu small, you keep it fresh, and you invest in your staff.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
I was gonna tell you, even there's a couple food reviewers that I trust their opinion. Those guys don't they're straight about it.
Yes.
If a place has more than one sheet of menu, it's over.
It is.
It's you already know that's gonna be bad.
It's career suicide.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's way too much.
Yeah, and you never know what you're making.
Yes.
Because you can't even do a proper inventory count at your place. You can't control all that when you have 100. Let's say you have 120 items on your menu, right? Your SKUs are not 120 SKUs. SKUs meaning like break down one menu item. It might be 20 stuff that it takes to make that menu item.
That's what each one SKU.
Yeah. So you might have 480 menu items.
Oh.
Right, which is only 120, but it's the way your inventory list is, the way your deliveries are, you have that many items that you got to worry about. And most of the time, when you have that many items, nothing's fresh. Yeah. Nothing's made from scratch. Everything's, you take this bottle of this balsamic dressing, you mix it with this raspberry dressing, and you create your own dressing. But you're taking two different dressings that two people that are processed, made by Uncle Ken's, and you're mixing them together. Yeah. Or Marzetti or anything like that. I'd rather make my dressing from scratch and give you 4 bomb-ass dressings than 20.
Exactly.
You
remind me of?
Who?
Chef Ray.
Really?
Yes. Chef
Ray's a good guy.
He's a great guy. Yeah. But the way you guys your culinary, because when I went with the one in the corner, he was telling me everything about everything. As he was presenting the food, he was telling me the dressing. He was telling me the way that he cooked it. He was telling me everything about it.
I gotta correct you on one thing. Go, chew, jung. Huh? It's called go. So let's say it with me. Go, chew, chong.
Go, chew, chong.
There you go.
What'd I say?
Yeah.
That's like gouch?
Yeah. So gochujang is amazing.
Yes.
And it's a Korean chili paste. And it's one of my favorite sauces.
That's what I mean. You and him are perfect on this.
Yes.
I told Sam about this. Really? I was like, yeah. I'm like, you have to see it from my point of view.
Chef Ray has a really good story.
Yeah.
He came from an employee from a couple restaurants, and he made it on his own. And I've known him since he was at Romer.
Yeah.
Yes, and he did really well for them, and I'm happy he's doing really well for himself. He deserves it.
Good for him.
And his culinary experience is really good. He's got a little more culinary than me because he went to school to become a chef. I stumbled on it. And I think I'm a little more business savvy, and he's a little more chef savvy.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
you are.
I know it from A to Z.
He's a Tony, basically.
Yeah, he's a Tony. Yeah, exactly.
Man.
But I learned from Tony. I had a good teacher. Tony was a teacher to me.
He was a very good teacher. Yeah.
He was.
Did he just throw you into the fire, basically?
He did.
Figure it out.
He did.
Yeah.
And he claims he didn't, but he did.
He did.
And I would love for you to sit down with Tony one day.
I would love to.
Yeah. You would love to pick his brain. He's very, very talented. He's innovative. He's always thinking. And he's a success story.
That creative mindset, I love that creative mindset.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was gonna have one of my last questions. I know it's 12 o'clock. I'm sorry to keep you here.
No.
What is your creative process when you walk inside the kitchen? When you want to create a new special menu. For example, do you still do those now?
Yes. Like I got to do right now, egg bar.
Egg bar, yes. Yeah. What is your thought process? I know you typing it from Vegas and Florida and all these, New York.
So with egg bar, right?
Yes.
First, we're gonna make our own bread. So with Egg Bar, we teamed up with Zemen. Zemen is empowers women that are divorced, abused. Their mission, Hajj Najat's mission statement is amazing. They did a remarkable job there. All the women there that brought Zemen to the next level are still there, are still doing good. They're employed by Zemen. They have a cookie line. So we decided to give our bread to them.
Okay.
And they're gonna make our bread.
Wow.
And we're gonna employ a handful of women there, hopefully. And when we grow the Egg Bar, they're gonna grow with us. So that's number one. So what do you want to do with Egg Bar? For instance, the creativity behind it. Perfect the bread. That's first. Perfect the egg second. And then once you perfect the egg and bread, cheese is cheese.
Everything,
right?
Everything's possible.
And then you get into your sauce. Then you get into your ingredients, your toppers, right? That's how you do it. So you first want to perfect the basis, right? Yeah. So if you're making a burger, you want the best burger grind.
The bun.
Yeah, you want the best bun. Yeah. You want the best aioli mayo. Mayo is like, aioli is another word for mayo. Yeah. You want that. And then you start with, okay, am I going to pickle my own pickles? Am I going to pickle red onion? Am I going to caramelize onions on this? So everything has a balance. You don't want too much of anything. Too much spice is not good. Like at the Avenue, when people tell me, oh, I don't eat spice, I'm like, nothing's like this here. Now we have the natural crispy cod, but other than that, nothing's too hot. Everything has a balance. So what you want to do is perfect your bread and butter, whatever it is that you're making. The protein has to be out of this world. Whether it's Mongolian beef, whether it's a chicken schnitzel, whether it's anything that you do, and you're breading. If you're frying something, your breading's got to be amazing. Your process for breading's got to be amazing. Like at the Avenue, we have a breadinator. You put a raw tender in, it comes out breaded. It's like a tumble machine.
Oh, it's cool.
You know why? Because I want to take off the pressure off my cooks. So my creative approach is, number one is perfecting whatever dish you're making, efficiency, how you're going to cook it. Yeah. Yes. If it takes a guy 5 minutes to cook, I don't want it on my menu. So we try to see how we can streamline it the fastest. So with the flavor profile comes efficiency. You said it. Oh, wow. Yeah. So everything should be under 3 minutes to make. Okay. And now when you're busy, it might take 15 minutes because you add on 100 customers, right? Yes. But at the end of the day, nothing should take over 15 minutes in your kitchen. What I learned from Miami, like I don't go to South Beach, I go to like the little districts in Miami, right? What I learned, they bring out food in less than 5 minutes. That's their motto. They just pump out food, pump out food, pump out food. And they got good food out there, especially when you're not in the tourist area. Yeah. Yeah, when you go to those hidden gems and like Wynwood, Brickell, other Coconut Grove, those places have great restaurants. And I learned that their efficiency and the way their ticket times are number one. Okay. And they match it with quality. Okay. And that's what I'm trying to bring here. And that's beautiful. I've always learned from everybody. I learned from you. Yeah. I learned from my nephew. I learned from the dishwasher. I learned from the cook. I never shut anybody up because at the end of the day, you never know what they give you. Whether it's one word of advice, whether it's their opinion, it could change your life. And you never want to shut anybody out.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yes.
That's the interview from Karl Macky.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate you, brother. You're the man.
Beautiful.
Thank you for all you do for our community.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.